Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope you guys are all super excited because I am really pumped to give you an amazing webinar filled with some of the knowledge that I have developed and things that I really think are going to be life-changing for a lot of you guys. So thank you so much for taking an hour or so out of your schedule to spend with me on this webinar. I really appreciate that, and I'm going to try to make this as quick and also as entertaining as I possibly can for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it just to be respectful for everyone's time. I know there's some more people jumping in, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. So this webinar today is all about how to build a seven-figure real estate investing business from scratch. And not only that, but how you can do that without direct mail, which is very expensive, without bandit signs, which is a lot of work, and without Google pay-per-click, which is also very expensive depending on which markets you're in. These are a lot of the old methods that many people are teaching today, and it's not working near as great as it used to. And with all of these things that I'm going to teach you here today, guys, you don't need experience. I had zero experience when I started. You don't need connections. I didn't have any of them. And you certainly don't need to have a trust fund or have a bunch of money already. If you do, great, but you don't need to. You can do all of this without those things. So first and foremost, guys, my amazing attorney, Mr. Saul Goodman over here, said I should probably give an earnings disclaimer. I am here to teach you what has worked for me, okay? All the information I'm going to give you here in this webinar is for educational purposes only. There are no guarantees that this will work for you, and your results are dependent upon your action. Just like a lot of other things and a lot of teaching things out there, you have to take action and you have to implement my systems in order for them to work. You can't just learn them and expect for it to happen, right? So the system requires taking action. By following our advice, you agree not to hold us liable for your decisions, actions, or results at any given time. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to all the good stuff. Okay, so my goal on this webinar is for the more experienced investors, I'm going to show you strategies that will separate you from all of your competitors and help you scale your business to the next level. And also, if you're a beginner, I'm going to show you how to set your business up correctly the first time, which is a mistake that I made. Because it's costly and time intensive to switch business models, which is something I had to do. My goal is not for you to be successful in 6 months or a year from now, but my goal is for you to be successful now and have things that you can implement that get you to your success in a quicker time frame. So that's my main goal for this webinar, and I hope you guys experience that same exact feeling. Now, for those of you that you can track with me and stay all the way to the end, I just want to let you know that at the end of this, I'm going to be giving you guys a link to my flagship Wholesale Secrets training, which is absolutely free just for staying to the end of the webinar. And it's actually funny because when I first got started, I paid a mentor over $5,000 for a month of training, and most of what I learned from him is going to be included in this training absolutely free just for simply waiting till the end of the webinar and hanging around with me. So I really appreciate you guys for doing that. So let me tell you, I want to emphasize here that there is no such thing as a bad student. Okay, guys, there are only bad teachers, and I love this image from the Karate Kid that kind of illustrates that. And I'm guessing for a lot of you, this is probably not your first webinar. And what I want to make clear is that if you failed at this in the past, it's not your fault, because there is a ton of misinformation, especially in the real estate investing world. There's a lot out there, and there's a lot of extremely expensive stuff that leads you down the wrong path. There's a ton of people teaching stuff that haven't actually been in the trenches, or it's been years since they've actually done any deals, and they're literally teaching outdated and obsolete, ineffective strategies. And I can tell you that this is not going to be one of those situations, and I am not one of those teachers. So you might be wondering, okay, cool, then who are you? Well, my name is Logan Hand, and I started investing in real estate at the end of 2015. So my first full year is actually more like 2016. Since then, I've done a little over 100 transactions, most of which I invested in, some of which I acquired and took down and then actually stabilized, added value, and resold over a year later, which we'll talk about a little bit later in this webinar. It's important that you guys know that I didn't have a huge trust fund or a bunch of money that I could use to buy houses. I grew up without money. I had a good family who did really well, but I did not have a huge checking account or some sort of money that I inherited. I will tell you that I did go to college, although I would highly advise against it. They say hindsight is 20/20. I think that I don't even know where my degree is, quite honestly. I don't think I've ever even seen it. I've certainly never even used it, and I think it's incredibly worthless. I got a degree in business management, most of which you can learn from Google or YouTube or just reading the right books. But most importantly, I think the best experience or education in business comes from doing things, failing, learning, meeting the right people, and taking action on things that you want to accomplish. So I did go to college. My parents wanted me to go, so I went, but not something I would advise as something that's valuable today, unless you want to be a surgeon or an attorney. So before I got into real estate investing, guys, I had the worst gig on earth. I actually sold final expense or burial insurance policies door to door, in and out of trailer parks, in some of the worst neighborhoods that you could find. And I was absolutely miserable every single day. I don't even know how I got out of bed. But I was paid on 100% commission, so I didn't have a choice. I couldn't pay my bills unless I made sales. And so I hated that. And I knew that I was worth more. I knew that my life was designed to do something bigger than what I was doing. So I had to make a shift and I had to make a change. And that's when I started learning about real estate investing. And when I found the right opportunity, I literally spent nearly my life savings on private mentoring. So I had $7,000 saved at the time, and I spent $5,000 of that money just on mentoring. That doesn't include getting my business started. That's just learning and getting mentored by the right person to make sure that I became successful. And thankfully it worked. I went full time from day one, and I just fully committed because I knew if I committed and put my mind to it that there was nothing that was going to stop me from being successful, and that's what I did. I had just enough money in my account to make sure my bills were paid for the next 2 months or so, and other than that, I just had to scramble and bootstrap pretty much everything to get the business off the ground. But I'm proud of where I've gone and where I've come, and I've gotten into some other incredible opportunities, which I'm going to show you here because of real estate. So I'm extremely blessed. I'm not some superstar that is different than any of you or that has sold millions of houses or thousands of houses. Guys, I'm just getting going, but I think the systems I've developed are real and they're applicable for people that aren't this huge company or huge organization. And I'm going to show you how to do that and scale that so that your company can grow. All right? So for those of you that haven't heard of wholesaling before, this is a business model that's not only incredibly lucrative, but it is a great place for people to get into the real estate investing world when you don't have a ton of money or the money to buy properties. And this is how wholesaling works. The premises is you find deals of properties that are suitable to be flipped or turn into a rental property and are pretty distressed. And you can find them through a variety of different methods. The best are always properties that are off market and you can deal directly with the seller. Now, once you find those deals, you're going to analyze those deals and crunch the numbers on those property and make sure that you can get it for a good enough price to where you can make some money if it were a property that you were to flip and it became profitable. So then what you're going to do is you're going to negotiate that deal directly with the homeowner, typically. Sometimes it's not with the homeowner, but most of the time it's directly with the homeowner. And then you are going to get them and yourself to sign what's called a purchase and sale agreement. A lot of times that's what we refer to as getting the contract. And you're going to control that contract, which gives you the exclusive right to purchase that property for a certain period of time. And at that point, you essentially control that piece of real estate for an allotted period of time. And then after you have that, you're going to have a network of buyers that are cash buyers, and they're going to be able to perform on that contract on the terms that you agreed upon, and you're going to sell that contract to them at a profit. So you are going to upcharge them to basically purchase that home that you just negotiated, and you're going to sell that to them for a profit. And so the final step there is to collect the profits. Most of these deals get closed at a title company, like a standard real estate transaction, and you can show up and get your check from the title company, or you can have it wired directly into your bank account. So for those of you that maybe it's still kind of confusing, here's a more simple way for you to understand it. In baseball, they have what's called a pitch hitter. I think it's pinch or pitch, something like that. A pinch hitter. And basically, the one guy steps up to bat, all right? Well, that's the guy that has the contract, right? But the pinch hitter is actually going to take that guy's place at the plate, and he's going to take his swing at the ball, and he's then going to bat on behalf of the first initial person that he took his place. The only difference is when those batters change, that batter is going to pay you to get out of the way and go sit on the bench. Okay, that is the most simple way to explain this. But while you're up to bat, nobody else can bat except for you. Okay, so that is how this works, and it's an amazing process that allows you to create liquidity literally out of thin air. So since starting in real estate, man, it's been such a crazy ride. Like I said, I started investing in late 2015 with less than $7,000 to my name. $5,000 was what I invested to get mentored. And, you know, where I literally learned the basics, which is what I'm going to give you guys for free if you stay until the end. All the value that I got for $5,000, I'm going to give it to you for free if you stay until the end. And in my journey, I've wholesaled 23 properties my first year in business. I've done over 100 in the past 3+ years. And in that process, I took the profits from my wholesaling business and I purchased 2 apartment buildings that I added value, stabilized, and sold a year plus later. And each one I made over 6 figures in profit on one deal. So 6 figures on the first deal and another 6 figures on my second apartment building, which I actually just recently sold towards the end of 2018. And I did all of this without following any of the conventional models that most people use, and sadly, the teaching companies are still teaching today, which is just crazy to me to think about. So, because of real estate, I've been able to put myself in a position to invest in other assets that make my money grow and multiply. So I now own a franchise, and not only do I own a franchise, I own what's called a master's franchise license for a concept called Mahana Poke, which is a fast casual bowls concept type thing. And it's really cool, really up and coming, trending concept. And I actually own the whole entire marketplace of Tampa Bay. So any and all of those locations in that area will be overseen by me, and I'll be able to make money from all of those. But I couldn't have got there if it wasn't from learning to wholesale in real estate and multiplying my profits. And then to the right is a picture of my apartment building that I just recently sold. It was 20 apartments. We profited a little over $100,000 on that deal, and we paid bare minimum to get into that deal. I think we only put in about 40 grand to get into that deal. So anyways, I'll talk more about that coming up. So, guys, for those of you that think maybe it's not for you, or you don't fit the mold of a real estate investor, let me tell you, I am the farthest thing from a normal cookie cutter, conventional looking business dude that maybe you imagine as a real estate investor. I wear weird things. I have very, odd and artistic kind of way of being. In 2010, you can see my dorky photo wearing a pink logoed shirt there with my best friend. And then here on the right in 2018, this is me and my wife, actually in North Carolina, just outside of Asheville. But you can see I wear these huge glasses. Most of the time I'm wearing a $7 H&M black V-neck t-shirt. It's like my go-to. And I'm always wearing ripped jeans. And so, I just want you to know and realize that I am way weirder than any of you, for sure. And there's no doubt that anybody, no matter what you look like or feel like, can do this business if you apply yourself and make it happen, because that's going to be key. So, also because of real estate, I've been fortunate enough to network with some of the biggest people in the business. Top left here, I was actually featured on the Lifetime Cash Flow Through Real Estate Investing podcast with Rod Cleef. Rod is such a cool person in the real estate investing business. And he's been around for a while. So definitely check out my episode if you get a chance. It's number 213, and you can catch me there. I've also, to the right, I'm pretty cool with the Clever Investor. That's the program I initially learned from. And Cody Sperber is a really cool guy. I really enjoy him. There's a funny picture of us switching our glasses. And I've been over to Arizona to spend some time with them and their organization. That they're really great over there. So also, top right here, this was a really cool moment in my career. That's actually one of the investors that I work with and have sold properties to. And he lent me some money to get into one of my apartment deals. And there's about $25,000 in cash on the counter there, which I successfully paid him back within 6 months plus his interest. So he was extremely happy, and it was a cool moment in my career. So definitely, I've been able to network with some amazing people just because of real estate. And I'm sure that, you guys are probably looking at this presentation and saying, well, Logan, that's great. You've had all this success. Maybe it's like this and it all came easily. But to be honest with you guys, the only reason I've been able to do a lot of things right is because I have done so many things wrong. And I promise that the best thing is to learn from your mistakes. I've had a lot, and when I learn, I typically take what I learned and put it into turbo drive, and that's why I've been able to do a lot of right things. But my point is, on this webinar, I want to show you the right things that I've learned from doing things wrong. And here's a perfect example. After I did this for about 2 years, I discovered the methods that I was using, and the methods that everybody was teaching me was actually the way harder way to do these real estate investment deals, especially these wholesale deals. And it took me several years to realize, yes, I was able to do deals, but it was way harder than it really had to be, and it was far more expensive than it had to be. So let me run you through, the methods that everyone in today's market are still teaching are these old, hard methods of doing things. At one point in time, these methods were very effective. And to be honest, my team still uses some of these methods from time to time. But like any other business model, as time went on, everyone and their mother began using the same online courses that everyone was teaching, because wholesaling just became this huge, hot new concept. And so everyone started using these exact same methods, and it basically became what I call a red ocean. And a red ocean is something where you're competing in a market where there's all this blood in the water, right? So you can go for a drive in any city in America and you're going to find a bandit sign saying we buy houses on every corner, right? And some of them have less, and those are markets where you can still do well with them. And some of them have so many where it's just a waste of time to do them. And what we're teaching here in 2019 is how to wholesale properties in the blue ocean. And the blue ocean is open waters with plenty of opportunity because we're taking a contrarian approach on how we teach people how to get deals. It's not the same stuff that everyone is doing that might be easier because you can pay for something, buy a list, swipe a debit card, get a mail order going, but everybody is doing it, so you're competing with so many people. I much prefer a blue ocean strategy, and the blue ocean strategies are working much better, and that's what I want to show you here today on this webinar. So, do you want to know the strategies that we use that are completely transforming not only our wholesale business, but have transformed the wholesale industry? This is obvious, right? That's why you're here. You want to learn how what I'm teaching is different from what you've been learning, right? So here's what we're going to go over. So over the course of this webinar, I'm going to teach you guys the 3 secrets that have completely transformed our business model to dominate in today's modern landscape and deliver dramatic changes for our own business, as well as the business of many of my students. And the 3 main secrets to the business model are as follows. Secret number 1 is scaling and dominating cold calls for dirt cheap without actually having to call people yourself. Everyone hates cold calling, I'm very well aware, but it's something that you can easily scale and dominate in a market, okay, in order to get deals and grow a company. So it's absolutely pertinent to understand all these things. Secret number 2 is how to use ringless voicemail and text blasting to acquire deals. And secret number 3 is how to invest the profits from your wholesale business to 5 to 10 times your money utilizing multi-family real estate. I know, right? That's crazy. But if you want to get rich soon, you're going to need to make large returns, and you can do that if you pick the right properties. Now, secret number 1, scaling cold calls and dominating them for dirt cheap without actually calling any of the people yourself. That's pretty interesting. How is that even possible, right? Well, what if I told you you could automate your cold calls? So when I got started, I was using all of the old methods that I mentioned to you before. And this is a crazy story because I just felt in the middle of my company, it was making money and it was doing good, but I was going through my QuickBooks one day and I was saying, man, to operate all of this is very expensive. And these marketing methods, I mean, I'm spending $7,000 a month just in marketing. And there has to be a more profitable way to get these deals. So I'm doing my bandit signs, I'm doing my direct mail, I'm doing my Google pay-per-click, I'm getting some referrals, and I run into this guy that I met actually through social media, and he's near me. He's in a market that's about 2 hours from where I lived, and his market's even more competitive than mine. So I hang out with him one day, we grab lunch, grab some coffee, and I look at his operation and I look at his business, and I realize that this guy is not only doing more deals than me, but he's not even spending a dime on any paid marketing. And I'm understanding, I said, man, so you're not doing direct mail? You're not doing signs? How are you getting deals? And he says to me, he goes, yeah, we get all these deals, we build all of our own lists, and we have a whole entire operation that gets to these sellers directly, and we don't pay for marketing. And I'm going, wow, I need to understand how you are doing this. So we sat down and we went through it, and what I found, guys, is a lot of times in business, you have these moments where you have a decision to make. You either keep going forward with what you're doing, or you can find someone who has achieved the results that you want, and you can copy what they'll do, and you'll achieve the same results. And this is a quote by Tony Robbins that I absolutely love, and I actually reflected on this when I was making that decision. And basically, I took his advice and he showed me his business model, and I went home and I scrapped everything I was doing. I stopped paying for marketing. I remember it was the scariest 2 months of my life because I needed to find deals, and I had now had a whole new system of getting them that I had to figure out, learn, and get deals. And so what I did was I emulated those strategies, and I copied what was working and what is successful. And before you know it, about 2 months in, we had several contracts. I couldn't believe it. I said, wow, this is actually working. It's crazy. So when I went home, the first thing I started implementing was, how can I scale what this operation is? So I went home and I did some Googling. And when I was putting this model together, I Googled Philippines virtual assistant company. And after a few weeks of prospecting and messaging different companies and websites, I finally found a website that essentially offered superstar talent for dirt cheap. When I say dirt cheap, guys, I mean you can have a full-time staff person on your team for $100 a week. 40 hours, okay, $100. That's incredible. Imagine what you can get done with that type of stuff. Now, these people were not only qualified, they understand all the technology, but they spoke perfect English. They had sales experience and were incredibly quick learners. So what I did was I found a company that got me directly to the virtual assistant, not a company that's here in the United States that manages them and then they charge you more money. I go directly to the source, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So what I did was I hired a couple in the first 60 days, and like I said earlier, that translated into 3+ contracts in the next 2 months when we were just learning, okay? We then grew it from there, but it was incredible to see what happened once I did that. And if you don't believe me, this is literally our virtual assistants. This was our team. Bob is an amazing guy. He's our sales guy. He does all the cold calls, handles all the objections, all the follow-ups. And his wife, Chin, is there to the left. And their beautiful daughter, they actually have two, but the other one, she's hiding. You can see he's carrying her in the background. So but this is our team, and it makes me feel incredible that they were able to buy a new car in their country because of the work that we were able to provide for them. And they are really an incredible couple and family, and they literally, they run our whole business, with the exception of physically going to the homes and getting them sold to the buyers. They do all of the front end and back end stuff. They handle cold calling, data management, entering into CRM, follow-up, sorting through different lead types. They handle everything, and they make my life incredibly easy, so I'm very, very thankful for them. So how effective is your money being spent? This is something you have to think about. If you're currently doing things the old, outdated ways, let's crunch some numbers and take a look at this. If you bought 200 bandit signs per month, which not everybody does, but say you do, and the average cost after it's printed is about $2 per sign, probably a little bit more if you pay someone to put them out. So that's about a $500 a month expense. Then let's talk about direct mail. A 4x6 postcard is typically going to run you about 45 cents per card, unless you're doing really high amounts of volume. You can get it lower than that, but that's about an average price for people that can't do 20,000 plus pieces. So 5,000 cards for 2 months is going to run you approximately $4,500. Now, the average response rate on postcards is typically about half of 1%. I've never gotten a 1% response rate. Some people do. I always got half of 1%, sometimes 0.75, but half of 1% is about what I was getting. So that means of the 5,000 pieces, around 50 leads are going to call you, but only 5% are going to result in a deal. So that means you got 2.5 deals, okay, for the $4,500 that you invested in mail, right? So keep tracking with me. I want to show you. Let's think about this a little bit differently. So what if you did this instead? You could have 10 months for one full-time virtual assistant for $5,000, okay? Now, obviously, you're going to get a deal way sooner than 10 months. It's pretty hard to not get one in 10 months' time, but it would buy you 10 months of labor. On a slow day, a virtual assistant can do 300 calls on the auto dialer. That means they're doing north of 6,000 calls per month, 60,000 calls for your $5,000 that you spent. We normally average a 5 to 7% connection rate. So that means your virtual assistant had conversations with 3,000 people. 5% of those 3,000 are actually going to be interested in doing a deal. So that's about 150 people. And 5% of those should be you can close, right? Now, we do numbers far better than this, but this is a conservative estimate to show you why this method is so much more powerful, and it puts you in control of when you want to contact your prospect, not waiting for your prospect to call you when it's convenient for them. I always hated that part of the business. So this allows you to follow up with them, to text them, to email them, to call them, whatever you would like, until you're able to get the deals and increase them. So that's it for secret number 1. Let's talk about secret number 2. After you've hired your virtual assistants and you've trained them, we're going to set up your ringless voicemail and text blasting system. So it's going to look like this. First, you're going to buy a list of contacts. You got to be careful where you source your list from because there's a lot of bad lists out there. We actually show you how to build your lists from scratch and give you a virtual assistant that can do it for you if you don't want to do it. And that way you can build your list for free and control the data that you're getting. So these lists are going to be targeted homeowners that have distressed situations or distressed homes, sometimes older folks between 65 and 70, people even facing foreclosure, and there's a variety of other scenarios that we target as well. You're going to then send out a mass voicemail that you get to copy our voicemail that we use to leave voicemails. And you can do this in massive bulk. So the phones don't even ring. It doesn't even alert them. It just goes directly into their voicemail box and shows them that they have a new voicemail, which is great new technology that we have available to us today. We leave more than 15,000 voicemails per month. So as you can imagine, this scale starts to really tip in and allows you to grow a big company. Once you've set this up properly, you're going to use another software that monitors your responses. You'll have a lot of people to call back and leave messages, so your virtual assistant or yourself can sort through the responses and call back your leads. So this is why you want to have your virtual assistant, or if you're going to do it, in place before you go ahead and set this up. And that will absolutely help you be way more efficient and get to your deal quicker. So I know to a lot of you, this may seem like it's advanced and it's super techy, and to be honest with you, it's not. It's very simple. I am not a tech guy. It's not complicated at all, and I give you step-by-step instructions on how you're going to be able to actually implement everything. So I just want to let you know it's not that complicated. I'm not a huge tech nerd, and I can't write code, and I can figure it out just fine. All right? So this is literally easier than logging into Facebook. So the secret number 3 is going to be one of the most important pieces of the puzzle. And guys, I'm going to tell you, nobody's talking about this. Nobody is teaching this information because quite honestly, they want so much money to disclose the industry secrets about multifamily. It's always been a good old boys club that they don't want to give you access to. They don't want to show you how to get deals and all of that stuff, but I'm going to tell you this secret is incredible. And it's how to invest your profits from wholesaling business correctly to 10x your money with multifamily real estate. All right, so there's a lot of different approaches, but here's mine. So let's take a look at an example. This is a property that I purchased towards the middle of 2017. And actually, the earlier months of 2017. And multifamily is amazing because the way that it's valued is not like residential real estate, where they analyze market comps and take a look at other sales. Multifamily is valued based on the cash flow that it produces. It's just like a business. It's just a real estate asset that operates as a business. That's really what it is. And the cool thing is, if you're able to find good deals, which I'm going to teach you guys how to find good deals you can make money with, and you can add a little bit of value, you can increase the rent, man, you can sell it for a massive return by making it a more profitable asset or business. So let's look at what I did here. November 2016, sorry, I said 17, for $252,500. And I got it at a 13.2% cap rate. For those of you that don't know what a cap rate is, it's essentially a fancy way of saying ROI, return on investment, for the year. Me and my partner put down 25%, so that's around 63 grand, and we financed another 75% of that 252.5. We were able to drive the monthly rents for all the units from a total of 4,375 all the way to 5,770. And we did this by not only upping the rents, but we also decreased expenses by switching the water meter so that the tenants paid their own water. That saved around $600 a month. That may not seem like a lot, but $600 a month times 12, that's about $7,000, $7,200 or so for the year. And depending on the cap rate, that could be $70,000+ in equity that you just made by decreasing that expense. I also converted a maintenance, we call it a closet, but it's about 400 square feet to an efficiency, and that brought in another $500 a month. I added a laundry room for free, which I'm going to show you how you can do all of those things for free. And after we added value, we waited over a year because you get amazing tax benefits by doing that. And we were able to sell the building for $377,500 about 13 months later. And this deal was able to net us $167,500. And it cash flowed over $30,000 that year. So it was a spectacular investment for a great, my first commercial property was a wonderful experience, and I learned so much by going through that deal. And finding multifamily deals, there's a lot of ways to do it. Here are some basic ways. You can find brokers through loopnet.com, or you can look for deals there. Typically, it's kind of like the Craigslist of commercial real estate or the Zillow. It's pretty hard to find deals there. They are there, but you typically have to be the first person to get to them. But you can do research as far as what things look like, and you can reach out to some brokers, build a relationship with them, let them know what you're looking for. We like to do things kind of more like below. Use data sources or county appraiser or different list sites that we utilize to send out handwritten letters to apartment building owners that have owned for more than 15 plus years. People that have owned for that long, maybe they're retiring, they typically want to sell, or they don't need to command such a high price because they've made money from cash flow for so many years. We also target balloon payments that are coming due within 24 months. We build driving for dollars lists of distressed apartments, and we go directly to those owners. We implement the same strategies we do with wholesaling in order to get these multifamily deals, and going directly to the owners is always going to be the best way, in my opinion. We also have a software that I'm going to share with you guys that is absolutely incredible, and it's affordable for everyone. A lot of the stuff that's out there is well over $1,000 a month, so it's really hard if you're not a huge company to compete with that. But I have found a way out in the market that gives you the same data for a marginal fraction of the cost. All right, so it's super crucial that you learn that. So again, guys, the Mogul secrets are the scaling and dominating the cold calls for dirt cheap without actually calling people yourself. Secret number 2 is how to use ringless voicemail and text blasting to scale tremendously and acquire deals at a quick rate. And secret number 3 is how to invest the profits from your wholesale business to 10x your money utilizing multi-family real estate, right? So I'm sure that you guys have a good understanding of these core concepts of the business model, but I'm sure you feel like I've overwhelmed you with information. And I know that all of this is more, there's way more to this than what I can deliver in a 25-minute webinar, and this is barely scratching the surface, and I don't think any of us want to be here all day. So what I did was I put together a package for everyone who's attended this training today. And if you guys don't mind, I'd like to take a second to just share this package with you. If you're okay with that, just let me know in the question box. I'm going to read those. Yeah, it seems like, okay, cool. Yeah, guys, like I said, I don't want to waste a ton of your time, but I did create an incredible package for you that I want to share with you today. So yes, yeah, I'm reading here, yes. Jim from Texas. Okay, cool. So I'm glad you guys are down to do that. Let me show you the amazing package that I've prepared for you guys here today. So over the past 30 minutes, I've explained to you guys the systems that are literally changing the landscape for the wholesaling business and flipping houses or real estate investing in general. It's changing it for me. I've changed it for my students and their lives. They're quickly implementing my strategies and seeing their businesses grow and turn around and get significantly better. And let me tell you, every 10 years, there's a huge shift in the real estate market. A massive breakthrough or turning point in the industry. That's always how real estate has been. And we're at that point now where things are starting to shift again. We've had this crazy hot market for the past 8+ years. Some people would even say 10+ years. And now that market is starting to shift, and you've got to make the shift with it. Those old methods are just not working the way that they used to. And 15 years ago, it was direct mail, and then it was bandit signs, and then it was Google PPC. But the systems that I'm teaching, in addition to those that are the most up-to-date methods for wholesaling and flipping houses and even investing in multifamily real estate. And this is a chance to get in on the ground floor before 100,000 people have learned this method. You guys are learning this right out of the gate. There is minimal people doing this exact strategies that you guys are going to learn and implement. So now's your chance to get in on the ground floor and start dominating your local area before it turns into another gold rush, just like this picture here. And that's exactly why I included it. So for today, guys, I have the Mogul business model. Literally our entire business model. You're going to be able to rip it off entirely, copy every single detail of it and implement it in your market. I did not forget one little tiny thing. I'm literally letting you copy my exact business and implement it. The package I put together is the most expansive training where I teach you guys how to implement and emulate our exact business model and all of our strategies, because knowing stuff is great. But what good is it if you can't actually implement the strategies? Implementation is the key to everything. So what you're going to get inside of the Mogul business model is over 10 hours of training, PDFs, content showing step-by-step instructions on how we set up and run everything in our current business, how to set up a ringless voicemail and text blasting system, all the technology, all of our software, all of our infrastructure, everything that we use. And by the way, as we adapt new technology, we go ahead and put it in the Mogul business model for free for you to get anytime we update it. You get negotiated discounts to all of our subscriptions and all of the technology that we use, access to all of our voicemail blasts and recordings. So all you have to do is copy it and put your name and information in it, and just like mine. You get how we build the best possible targeted buyers list and how I can teach you to do it for free in a quick amount of time frame. How to directly find virtual assistants that are extremely qualified for dirt cheap, and how to train them to deliver massive results. And hey, by the way, you can just give them the training that's inside of the Mogul business model, and my videos will train them for you so you don't have to do anything. Lastly, you're going to get how to effectively skip trace to get the best numbers to call for the lowest costs. And yes, I give you a discount code for that as well. So that's going to decrease your expenses. So let me just ask you guys a couple of quick questions, and I'm going to get real with you, okay? So think about this. I remember being in your exact shoes. If you followed what I taught you here today and hired the right team of virtual assistants, training them to build lists and cold call motivated sellers in volume, in massive volume, and then you correctly set up your ringless voicemail blasting and text blasting to reach well over 15,000 people every month. Sometimes we do 50,000 every month, okay? Using our exact scripts and all of our recordings. And then after closing a few deals, you began to take the profits and acquire multifamily apartment complexes down the road, right? Do you think that in a 10-year time frame from today, your life will look a little bit different than it will if you stay on your current path? Now, seriously, let that set in. Think about that. This could be one of those moments where you define making a decision that creates a huge impact for you in your life. Financially, what does it mean freedom-wise, mentally? I'm seeing in the text box here, a lot of people are saying yes, they think their situation would be different. Yes, yes, hell yes, on reading. Okay, let's go. I love it. Dope, guys, man, I really appreciate that, and I'm glad you're being honest and genuine just like me. And there are several people, tons of people actually, that ask themselves that same exact question, and it has transformed their life. Going through the Mogul business model, their businesses have skyrocketed and exploded, and they've received growth that they never thought possible, and at a much lower cost than they thought was achievable or what they were doing before. You can click on this link at any time. You can go see all the video testimonials that I have. I don't write testimonials. I do videos because I think they're genuine, and I think anyone can write a paragraph. But these are real people that I've trained, and they've gone through the Mogul business model, and they're having success in several different markets. So please take a second, just check them out. I'm super proud of every single one of them. And guys, if you sign up today, you're going to get the complete Mogul business model, which has a real world value of $24.97. That's right, $2,500. And now I'm not going to charge you anywhere near that much today, but if you go to my website any day of the week, you can see that this is literally the price that I charge year round for all of this content and this entire course that I've put together. So that is the value, and that's what I get every day of the week. But not only that, I'm going to throw in some other stuff for you today. And one of those things is my sales training blueprint. To make it a little better, my sales training blueprint is going to be in the course, free of charge, completely included. And it's literally me handling objections on video. You get my sales script, you get my total sales training blueprint that not only yourself but your virtual assistants can use on how to speak to sellers both in single family and multifamily, how to handle objections, all of our scripts, all of our follow-ups and how you follow up appropriately, what do you say to close a deal, and how to talk to different types of seller, because every seller is slightly different. Tons of psychological stuff, right? So you are going to get all of that, the sales training blueprint included for free. And I typically charge an extra $9.97 just for the sales training blueprint. But if you sign up today, you're going to get the Mogul business model with the sales training blueprint all together, no extra charge. And not only that, I'm not even done. I'm going to throw in my personal virtual assistant, Johanna, who I have set aside specifically for the Mogul business model students that take advantage of this webinar. And her sole job is just to build lists and organize and scrape data just for you. She's no longer working for me. I'm literally having her just to deal with the Mogul business model students, and that is her full-time job. And we've had such great success that she even has multiple people that are working under her to handle the amount of orders to do your list. And not only that, I've negotiated a lower price than what her and other virtual assistants charge. It's 8 cents per lead that she scrapes for you. It's normally 12 cents if you go to her or any other virtual assistant. So she gets probates, divorces, tax defaults, Liz pendants in your market. If there's evictions, she can get those. Incredibly difficult to get data that I've trained her how to get. That is a $1,297 value because it took my time and money to develop her to do everything the way that it should. So again, if you sign up today, you're going to get the Mogul business model, the sales training blueprint, you're going to get my data scraping assistant, all of that together. And what I want you to ask yourself right now, I know you might think this deal's a no-brainer, right? But if you were to sign up and all of this model did was 2x, it got you 2 more deals in a whole entire year, right? Even if you only made $5,000, which normally our average margin is $10,000 plus, okay? So if that made you an additional $10,000 this year, would it be worth it? That's a question you have to ask yourself. If it only got you 3 more deals, utilizing all of the methods, the scaling, the scripts, the virtual assistants, the voicemail blasting, all the texting, the follow-up, everything used to run an efficient and low-priced company in today's market, if it got you 3 deals and made you 15 grand extra this year, would it be worth it to you? I mean, guys, it's $15,000. I mean, to a lot of people, that's a lot of money. And it's clearly going to prove its value. And just to prove things even further, here's what some other people are saying out on social media. You can look these guys up. They're students of mine. You can actually find them on Instagram. Joe Gutman is saying, I'm currently going through the Logan's business model, and it's the best business model out right now. And this guy has been to 3 other courses, okay? He is the man for putting this out to the public. It's so detailed, and there are some really creative ways to get your phone ringing. If you're reading this and have some deals under your belt and want to get more deals, you would be a fool not to check this out, especially for the price. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that, man. That's super awesome for you to say that. And then I've got this guy here is actually a younger guy to the right. Closed today, baby. Still waiting on title company to give me a time so I can pick up the check. Wholesaling is real and it works and it's so easy once you get the first one out of the way. I made $5 grand in 1 week. Total work time was about 4 to 6 hours spread out over the week. It's simple and easy. Now my goal is to put all that into marketing to get this baby pumping out deals. So, man, these guys are crushing it, and I'm super proud of both of them. You can check that out on social media. But guys, I'm going to sweeten the deal even better for you. And these bonuses are available through this webinar only. I don't sell these typically. They're a la carte items, so I charge extra for every single one of these things. But if you take advantage of this offer on this webinar, you're going to get these additional bonuses for free included in your package. So bonus number 1 is my vacant home list building strategy. So this is a creative strategy that one of my colleagues taught me about a year ago that has been a game changer. And I gotta say, I can promise you very, very few, if not any of your competition in your network, in your area, is using this. It's a method that me and my team created ourselves and refined that helps us get access to public record lists of vacant homes that people wouldn't even know were vacant. Okay, so think about that. This is one of our best performing lists. I'm going to show you how to build this list for free. It's an incredible data set, and most people don't even know how to access this list or that it's even available for you to get. So that's the first bonus, my list building strategy on getting that. It's crucial to building a big company. Bonus number 2 is my multifamily investment training. Now, guys, this is amazing because while wholesaling can make you very rich and make you a good amount of money, investing in multifamily will make you generational wealth. Whether you keep the property and you let it cash flow for passive income, which is incredible, by the way, but these are assets that you can pass down to your children. They're assets that you can create a legacy with. And they appreciate over time, typically much stronger than residential properties, and you can sell and reinvest later on. And my strategy, not only on the way to invest the cash, but how to find the deals, it's only available through this webinar only. I typically charge an extra $9.97 just for that course alone. Not only that, you're also going to get the third bonus. Guys, I literally cannot even believe that we are putting all of this together to where you can have all of these things bundled together is our legal contracts. Now, you need to make sure these are good in your state because every state is different, but assume you get them approved and looked over by an attorney, you can use them and they're already done, already ready to go. And I've even created a custom assignment contract, which is what you use to wholesale. That doesn't disclose the fee that you're making, so it makes it very easy for you to make large margins without having to do a double close or anything like that. So, guys, after all of that, if you sign up today, you're going to get my Mogul business model that has a $2,497 value, the sales training blueprint of $997, my personal virtual assistant that I've dedicated just for you guys, $1,297 value, my vacant house list building strategy, which is massive, guys. We do tons of deals per year just from that one list alone, $497 value. The multifamily investment training, which is new, hot off the press. You're going to be some of the first people to get it. I'm going to include it. It's normally a $997 value. You're going to get all of our contracts, which I typically charge another $200 for. The total value of this course, guys, is $6,476. This is literally the market value for this content and the course that I'm offering to you guys today. So at this point, basically what I have is two choices. My first option is I can make this epic, up-to-date, modern 2019 real estate investment material. I can make it accessible to others. Or my second option is I can sell it for the real world value. Because the reality is, guys, I could get $6,500 for this. You will make more than $6,500 from one deal. Typically, the average margin is about $10,000, right? I could get that value. And not only that, by learning everything, you create a business that can make you hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, worth far more than $6,500. But the reality is, my thoughts are to make more people successful that can't afford $6,500 to invest in something, right? There are people that spend $30,000 on big name course companies. I won't name them, but you can Google. There are $30,000 packages, and they won't deliver a fraction of the information that I'm going to give you in my Mogul business model. So if all this did was achieve, these are some of the few checks that I've gotten in this business. All of these checks are for $5,000 or more. Some of them are 20, some of them are 12. You can try and zoom in. I don't know if it'll let you. And nowadays I just get wires. I don't even go to the title company. So this was just when I was younger and excited. These are the pictures that I saved. If all this was achieved was that, it would be worth it. But Guys, I'm not going to sell it to you for $6,500 because I want to help more people than just people that can afford $6,500. I'm not even going to sell it to you for half that value at $3,239. What I am going to do today is I'm going to give you all of the bonuses plus the Mogul business model, the sales training blueprint, my personal virtual assistant, the 3 bonuses, including that super hot list, the multifamily investment training, and all of our contracts. Today only, you can get it for one payment of $997. That's right, guys, $997, a marginal fraction of what it's worth. And not only that, to invest $1,000 or $997, whatever you want to call it, to build yourself and start yourself a company that can easily generate well over $100,000 a year if you just put it to work, if you apply yourself, if you never give up, if you hustle, if you go after it, you're going to build yourself a nice size company. I literally stopped doing what I was doing and went after this full time from day one because I knew I could make it happen, just like you have to know you're going to be able to make it happen. And that's exactly what I did. And I had to do it with old, outdated ways that aren't even really working today anymore. Okay, so imagine now you're going to have a shortcut doing it the new ways that I'm going to teach you and that I've discovered and tweaked and altered and made even better. Now, guys, all you have to do is click the link. You can also click the link on the last slide. If you didn't, you can click the link here to go ahead and get started in the Mogul business model. Make sure that you go ahead and take action because, guys, there is a huge difference. And for those of you that are still a little bit worried, listen, I can't help you make money, then I don't deserve yours. I'm going to give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. And after 30 days of going through this training, if you're not blown away, then hey, just shoot me a message and I'll refund you every cent. No questions asked. You can go ahead and feel secure that you are getting a 30-day money-back guarantee. And you can click the link here to get started. So the real question is it worth gambling a few days of your time to check this out? And even if it does half of what we've claimed today, it will pay for itself at least 10 times over as soon as you begin implementing our strategies. And I have trained students who have been from scratch to talking to sellers and running and operating their business in less than a week. So what you need to do to get to that point, to get to those checks, is to click the link here below to get the package that I've made for you. Again, guys, $6,500 value. You're going to get all these things for free that are super valuable for $997 today only. You have to take action on this webinar in order to get the full bundle of everything. Make sure you click the link below and you can go ahead and get started. It's time for you to take action. And one thing that I want to bring to you guys as we close here, as we finish up, just remember this: successful people act quickly. The only reason why some people experience success more than others is because they think, make decisions, and act quickly. That decision pays off in huge dividends over a lifetime. So it's not so much what you know, who you know, or how much money you have, or the resources you have access to. The only reason why people experience success more than others is because they think, make decisions, and act quickly. All right, so think about that. This is true for me and all my students that are achieving success. Not just in this moment right now, they all made the same decision, but in every moment. As an entrepreneur, you're going to need to make quick decisions and you're going to need to feel secure in them. You can't always ponder on things. And if you live like this, I guarantee you'll be successful. A lot of people say entrepreneurs are the ones that jump out of a plane and build the parachute on the way down. And I think that quote is also tremendously great. So think about that, guys. This could potentially be huge for you this year to change your life or increase it tremendously. So if you want to take advantage of today's deal, click the link. Get started now. This is where your life from this day forward can completely change, or your business could start dominating and crushing with new ways that people have not been showing you. And if you don't want to take the risk with your own cash, if you have decent credit, you can use interest-free financing through PayPal. All you've got to do is click this simple link here, and PayPal, you'll fill out the application real quick. They should give you a decent credit line for purchasing. And if you pay it off within 6 months, which should give you plenty of time to do a deal, you could actually pay no interest, use none of your own money, and essentially get yourself into an opportunity to build a massive business. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click the link, or just go to Google and type in PayPal credit, and you can fill out the application. Make sure you come back and click the link, or you can save the link, click it, and then once your credit line's set up, go back to that link that you just clicked. That should be an open tab, and go ahead and check out from coming through this webinar. So again, guys, to get started, it's just $9.97. This is the only way you can get it for $9.97. Click the button below, or any of the other links. You could click this one now, and I am looking forward to hearing all the success stories. Remember, guys, I want to see those testimonials. I want to hear about your success, and I hope that we can jump on a phone call, and I am here to help you guys, and I want to hear your success and be accessible for you to connect with, etc., etc. So last but not least, for all the people that waited till the very end, you get the free wholesale secrets, which includes the 60-day action plan and several of my videos to get you started and taking action. And this is a lot of the basic stuff that I learned from my mentorship when I was first learning in the beginning of time. And you're going to get the link here. So guys, thank you so much for spending time with me here today. I'm so excited for all of you, and I cannot wait to see the success that you guys achieved and hear all the great things. So have an amazing day, and remember, be a mogul.